In 2005, there was a dramatic increase in violent crime, including homicide by young people in South Auckland. This situation prompted the government to take the youth gang phenomenon even more seriously by developing a regional action plan. The Auckland Youth Support Network Group was formed as part of that action plan and is made up of both government agencies and community organisations. The plan is now in its third year, and Inspector Jason Hewitt from County's Manukau Police says it is definitely making a difference.
If there is a statistic I can give you, it's this. Between October 2005 and November 2006, there were 10 youth gang homicides in that 30-month period. 8 in County's Manukau, 2 more in Auckland City, and numerous other woundings and grievous assaults directly related to youth gang violence. Since November 2006, there was not another homicide for the next 18 months, and since then we've only had 2. So you can say there's been a dramatic turnaround in that serious youth gang violence. It's quite clear to me that since the inception of that 26-point action plan, there has been a sustained and significant reduction in youth gang activity.
These improvements are the result of a lot of hard work by dedicated people like Sally Paya, who's been working with young people in Otara for the last 30 years. Sally says he too has noticed a change in his community.
I can say definitely at this time that I've seen changes in Otara, in that it has been quiet. Even our kids don't know where the gangs are, and normally they know where they are. They know where they congregate, they know where they live. But of late, when you ask our kids, they don't know. The environment is peacefully quiet, not an eerie quiet, it's a very peaceful quiet.
Crosspower Ministries run a number of projects aimed at mentoring and guiding young people into making positive life choices.
We're about youth, and our focus totally is we want to get out there and connect with youth. They are so disconnected from family, from everything that is around them. And so our job is to bring that connection and a direction where they can move into. Growing up in an environment like Otara, for instance, it's a very nice place. But because of the stigma that is put upon us, many times I know that a lot of young people give up because they don't see beyond that. They only see that environment as all negative, and so they've accepted that as that's the way of life for them. They kind of caught up in that environment. They're caught up in that cycle, and a cycle that continues. And what we do is to bring them to a point where to try to break that cycle, so that we can show them that there is a better way, that there is hope.
Inspector Jason Hewitt stresses the importance of parental engagement and support as being key to how well a young person functions in society.
One of the things we've found with research that was conducted by the Ministry of Social Development is that those young people most likely to get involved in youth gangs have poor parental engagement at home. They have either no male role model or a poor male role model in the home. What we're trying to do with the 26-point action plan is trying to wrap around families with such issues, help them with parenting programs, help them with their alcohol or drug dependency, their anger management, the family violence issues. If we can wrap around in an integrated case management type approach with that family, then there's a much better chance of a good outcome for that young person.
Inspector Hewitt says the police work closely with churches to communicate the dangers of getting involved with gangs. One of the South Auckland churches that work alongside families and youth is Victory Outreach International.
We've come here to talk to Pastor Tony Romero, who looks after the Victory Outreach Church here in South Auckland. They run a youth ministry called GANG, God's Anointed Now Generation, and a lot of the youth that attend this program come from broken homes and have been in trouble with the law. We've come to find out more about the work his church is doing with the community.
I think it's a tremendous thing to be a helping hand in that group, to be another group in that whole category of people that are actually helping, and that's the main thing, that if we can all do it together, then we can actually pick up the reputation of our community and build up the self-esteem of a lot of our young people.
Pastor Tony says the biggest challenge he faces is getting young people to realize their potential is not limited by where they grew up. He says young people continue to be heavily influenced by the media and peer pressure, but he's teaching them to use those influences in a positive way.
When you start getting them involved, not just having them come and cater to them, but you have them come and they actually get involved in the youth groups where they're actively singing or playing an instrument, or maybe even using their rap skills or dancing. You know, when you utilize them with what they have, they want to be there. You know, they feel like they belong, and they feel that this is their home, or they feel a safe place, and that's what we try to create also, is a safe place for them to come, not have to worry about gangs, colors, violence, anyone going to come and attack them, but they know when they come through those doors that it's a house of God, but also it's a safe place for them to be.
Tony Romero and Sally Paya agree there is good support for young people, but also say there is always more that can be done.
We have been supported by government, and we appreciate that. We want to see more development. We want to see more development with youth in particular. I know that there are other areas, but I think that we need to look more in an area of youth, youth education, youth training. My philosophy is keep our youth busy. They won't have time to get into trouble. All parties involved need to work together, not fragmented. Yeah, so that's a huge issue, is that a lot of government department and non-government department sometimes don't seem to work together. We need to work together on this one. That's the only way we can tackle the youth problem in the future.